Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday, April the 18th. I want to get into this. I want to have a special live stream today to talk to you guys, to talk to the community. I sent out some invites. We'll see what happens with people showing up or not. And I want to get right into this, you guys. I want you to find out from you, why are you still here? Now, this is not a negative video. This is not a rant. This is not telling anybody to leave. This is legitimately asking the question, why are you still here? And I'm going to get into this right off the start. And I'm going to review this as we go through the live stream. We'll see what happens here with people. But here's the topic right here of discussion today. Now we can talk about, drops that happened. We can talk about, the Disney posters, the upcoming Back to the Future train. We could talk about that. We could talk about Tarzan if you want. But really, I want to talk about this right here. This is what I'm going to get into. So let's wait for a few people to show up. And I want to know from you guys in the chat, why are you still here? I got some really interesting points to make. I tweeted out quite a interesting tweet yesterday with a lot of responses that I want to talk about. Now, this live stream is a little bit off the cuff. It's a little bit unscheduled. It's a special one, and we're going to get into it. We're definitely going to go for it for sure. Let's see who's in the house today. Fun Under the Sun is showing up. We're just going to wait a little bit longer, get some more people in here, and then really get into this and talk about it quite a bit. Fun Under the Sun is here. How you doing? BioShock. You're here today. Good to see you today. Loving the title, straight to the point. We're going to get into this, you guys, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good topic. Like I said, this is not a negative video. It's not a challenging video. It's a question. It's a question live stream because I really want to know. Happy Saturday. Happy Easter to everybody who's out there, by the way. If you're having an Easter weekend, if you celebrate that kind of thing, happy Easter. Joshua, did you get the Thinker? I was lucky enough to get one. I'm pumped. I haven't got it yet. I did get access, so I'll let you guys know. And I'm going to do something a little bit special on the live stream today, too, with my potion. I've made my decision, and I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit, too. Jeremy, happy Easter Sunday over here in New Zealand. Happy Easter Sunday to you as well. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out today. Hope you're having a great weekend for sure. It's Saturday here, Saturday morning, so you're already ahead of us, Jeremy. I love it. Dr. Strange is here. How you doing? Mario C is in the house. How you doing, Mario? Wes, first answer to the question. I'm here because I love Veve and these collectibles and comics have a ton of potential. There you go. That's a really good answer right there for you. That's one answer for sure. Thanks, Wes. And I really want to know what other people are thinking. That's why I'm doing this special live stream right here. I'm going to break it down for you in just a second. I have a little presentation and some, I'm doing this, but I should be doing this slide over here to go through to give you my points and stuff, to frame this conversation a little bit, just as we wait for more people to show up here. Joshua, I'm here simply because I like collecting digital comics. There you go. That's pretty simple. You can't go wrong with that right there. Henry, how you doing? Hey, MC, I believe when I started at the beginning of the bull run, and I believe now, stack, baby, stack. There you go. You're going after it. I love it. Johnny Crook, how you doing? Love Veve and still believe. There you go, Johnny. Yeah, there's a good portion of the community who feels the same way and a good portion of the community who doesn't. So we'll get into that too, for sure. Christopher, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the live stream today. Always great to see you in here for sure. KGM Jam. Why are you still here? Because I believe in the future of Veve. Look beyond the low market values and what is going on in the background. I would generally agree to that. That's a nice comment right there for you. There you go. Love to hear that. D. Ramos invested way too much to sell low. I'll watch 5 years and go from there. That's another factor. It is true. That can be another factor for sure, as to why you're still here. Definitely. Bill, I'm here because this is the place to be. There you go right there for sure, Bill. Thanks. This is what I want to know from you guys. I want to know. And I'm going to frame the question a little bit more in just a minute here. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to show up. And we'll get right into this while I have my little, my little coffee there, have my little breakfast right here. and this is going to be a good one, you guys. Trust me. I got some good points for you. And stick around because, I ain't ranting today. But I'm going to lay out some pretty clear reality check points for people here today. And I want to see what you guys think for sure. Roger, how you doing? Good to see you today. Bones B, happy Easter for sure. Yeah, we're getting into it, guys. We're getting into it. Happy Easter to you too. G Money with the eyes. He's got the eyes. What's going on? Pixel Trader, love the topic. This will be fun to explore. Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm asking the question. That's why I am asking the question. Okay? It's an important question to ask, especially yourself in this day and age, right? It's an important question. And you should be asking yourself this question all the time based upon all the stuff that's going on in the background. And it's a positive question. There's nothing negative about the question at all. There's nothing negative about asking why you're still here, and asking that question doesn't mean leave. It's just, why are you still here? This is the question. And I have, like I said, I have some slides coming up right here. Veve, Hawaii, flew to Maui from Hawaii Island for a reunion and still get to see the stream. Let's go. Nicely done. Glad you're stopping in here. Rates from beautiful Hawaii. Veve, Hawaii. There you go. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much. Mario, still here because I love the app. It's a lot of fun. Plus, I became a collector. I enjoy watching my collection grow. Nice, Mario. I love that. I love the sound of that. That's great. Jimbo Lee, how you doing? Hello, Master MC. I don't know if I'm a master, but we're getting into it for sure, right? But thanks so much for coming today. Wookie Cookie's in the house with a little wave. How you doing, Wookie Cookie? Good to see you. Tang's here to give their opinion as well. Good to see you, Tang. Good afternoon. On Oxide says, I'm here because I still love collecting. Yeah, for sure. That's another good reason to be here for sure. Barbara, we are so early to Veve. I really love Veve. I hope I can earn a passive income in the future. Yeah, that would be a great thing with the Veveverse and everything like that for sure, right? That would be awesome. Thanks for popping into the chat today. Jimbo, I love collectibles in Veve and the digital art in every comic. Yeah, there's a lot of love for people who are saying they're still here. There's a lot of love going on right now. I love that. I love the sound of that. Jason, Morning MC, why would you not want to be here? This is the future. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that, right? We'll see. We'll get into my topic of conversation right here in just a second. In fact, I'm going to dive into it right now. Okay, here we go, everybody. I think we got enough people here. Let's dive into this right now. Why are you still here discussing Veve? Now, I want to talk about this big issue right now of interoperability that people are totally talking about all over Twitter right now. And of course, have been talking about in Veve since the beginning, since Veve promised that they would have it, since they sent out tweets saying it was coming, and since it hasn't shown up yet. Okay. And I want to talk about this issue of true ownership, security, and all the arguments that people are making for interoperability right here and why, they want it so bad. And I totally understand all of it. It makes perfect 100% sense for everybody. But I do have a difference of opinion on what ownership actually is. And I'm going to get into this right here for you. My thoughts on interoperability for Veve Collectables is that for sure we all want them. For sure. Most of us want that, like for certain reasons, for the aspect of quotes, true ownership, the aspect of quotes, security, so you don't have to trust Veve to hold on to your stuff and all that. And we can have big discussions about whether or not you believe in that kind of thing, whether or not you believe that Veve's safe or they're going to be here for the long run, or you trust them to hold on to your stuff because you can't move it off app and all that. But this issue of actual ownership is another issue right here. And for me, the issue is pretty simple. Do you have the ability to sell your stuff for cash? As of now, again, we do. We have the ability to sell. Okay, so the debate on true ownership, I break it down to the very simplest denominator. when I own something, can I sell it? And can I take that money out and put it in my pocket and do whatever I want with it? The answer is yes, you can. You can do that on Veve, no problem at all. It's back for US residents at the moment, and the rest will be back later. I'm in Canada, so, you know, ironically, I specifically can't at this moment. But generally speaking, you know, you can cash out on Veve, right? And I think we all know that that's fine. That's not going to be an issue coming up shortly for everyone else outside of Canada, but outside of the US. But the US can cash out again. So most of the audience of Veve is in the US, right? We can agree on that. So you can sell and you can take your money. So that to me is the bare essence, you know, baseline minimum of true ownership. Now, you can't sell them anywhere else. Okay. So that's an issue for some people. All right. You can't take them off app and put them into a secure wallet, you know, so that's an issue for some people, right? That's interoperability, right? You know, and we can talk about why we don't have interoperability on Veve. That's a whole other discussion, right? For sure. But, you know, if you can't sell, if you don't want to store your stuff on Veve and you don't trust the team, and, you know, you want to move your stuff off app and you want to be able to have that ability, and you know that Veve does not have that and won't have that anytime soon, then the question is right here, why are you still here? Okay. And this is not a question telling anyone to leave. The question is then, why are you still here if this is super important to you? Now, for me personally, it's not at this moment in time. Okay. Me personally, I don't mind my stuff is on Veve. I'm fine with that. You know, I'm forced to buy and sell here on the app, and that's okay with me. I don't mind that. That's just me. Okay. I'm not telling you what you should think. That's just me. I do not mind only being able to sell my stuff on Veve and buy stuff in the marketplace. I personally don't mind my stuff stored here either. I don't have any worries about the team or trust on the app. That's just me personally, you know, and you can have those issues and worries. That's totally fine. No judgment there. Anybody's allowed to feel how they feel for sure. Okay. But I don't have a problem with that stuff yet. I can still sell my stuff. I can take my money out. I can go somewhere else if I want. I can still make money here. If I could not cash out, like before the whole cash out was unlocked, then there'd be some major issues here, because then you're really locked in. But you can buy, sell, you know, no worries. You just have to do it here. So if this is a major problem for some people, and this is a major issue, and this is something that is unacceptable, then I ask you, why are you still here? It's a simple question. And I think I have the answer for you. I think I'm going to lay out the answer for you right now. Now, you tell me. That's why I put the chat together. That's why I'm doing this live stream, because I want you to tell me why you're still here. Specifically, if this is a major issue for you, if this is massive and you're upset and you bought in based on the promise of interoperability back in the day, and now you're like worried about it, and you're upset at the team for not having it yet, and you don't see it coming anytime soon, right? Then what are you still doing here? Because you can cash out. You can sell your stuff, okay? It's very simple. We're getting down to the very base level here, the bottom level. Can you take your money out? Yes. So there is no holding anybody here, okay? No one's holding it. This right here is something people want, and it's something people that Veve should have, you know, and we can talk about why they don't have it, because of IPs and because of technology and because of licensing fees and all sorts of reasons. Or maybe they just changed their mind. Safety aspects. People don't understand crypto. All the different issues. The target audience, the masses don't care about crypto, and that's why, you know, all these different reasons as to why it's not here. But the fact that it isn't here, so, you know, is it true ownership? I personally believe it is, because you can sell. You can sell it and take your money. The true ownership comes in the cash in your hand. That's the, you know what I mean? if sometimes you place stuff into a collectible, you place money into a collectible and it sits in that collectible. And sometimes that collectible goes up in value and sometimes it goes down in value. Can you liquefy that? If you can, you own it. That's the base level for me. Now, in the NFT space, being able to have true ownership, in quotes, is being able to have interoperability, move your stuff anywhere you want, take it anywhere you want. I totally get that. Veve, you can't do that. So that's the question. Why are you still here then? If that is a major problem, right? So I want to hear from you in the chat. Now let's get into this a bit further. Why are people still here? Okay, we heard a few people in the chat express just now why they're still here. Here's reasons why people are still here. Without interoperability, okay, with the trust issues that some people have and all of that, here are some reasons why I'm guessing those people are still here. Now, they have to come out and tell us, and I really think we should challenge people who have major issues in the app, who are very unhappy, and ask them why they're still here, because I would like to know and not challenge them to leave, because nobody wants anyone to leave this app, including me. I don't want anyone to leave Veve. I'm just saying, if you're not happy here, you could leave Veve, right? You could leave, and you should. I mean, it's like any other business you shop at. If you're not a happy customer, don't shop there, right? You know, this is kind of the thing, right? But here are some of the reasons why people are still here. Big IP. It's undeniable. You know, the massive IP here doesn't exist anywhere else, and we have more to come. And it's super exciting, okay? The Veveverse potential. Okay, Veveverse and potential. Those are other reasons why people are still here. Okay, potential is a big one. This app, as we've all known since the start, has massive potential. Okay, whether it's lived up to that or not, that's another question that we all debate daily. Well, some people do anyway. Some people, and here's another point, some people are invested. They are invested in here. They don't feel like they can leave because they'll lose a lot of money if they sell. You know, I get it. Maybe you bought super high. Maybe you got tons of stuff in here. You know, maybe you're waiting until it goes back up before you sell. Totally understand that. That is a reason why some people are still holding on, you know? And I'm going to talk about that aspect and then the narratives that people throw out in the community that hurt their own investment. It's really quite crazy, right? Community is another reason why people are still here. Okay, you guys tell me all the other reasons as well if I'm missing anything. But community is a big reason why a lot of people are still here, whether or not they're having fun in the community, whether or not they're fighting with others in the community, whether or not they're arguing, whether or not they're enjoying themselves or going to meetups, whether or not they're, you know, trolling, whether or not they're putting out FUD and getting into, you know, like the community is alive here and strong. And people can engage in that community daily. And that is a big reason why people are still here for sure. But generally, I'm going to put this out here. I'm going to put this out. And I think this is the most important thing of all. Out of everybody that has a dialogue here, out of all the people that either you're super positive, called a moon boy, super unpositive, called a fudster, we all want Veve to succeed. Everybody does. Whether you have problems with the company, don't care about some of the issues or not, people are here because they want Veve to succeed. I think that's a pretty clear, easy statement to make, for sure. But if you're not happy, okay, with this stuff here, okay, and this is a big issue right here for you, and it's okay if it is, no one's saying it isn't, you know, it's not a big issue for me right now, but if it's an issue for you, fair enough. If it's not working out, okay, you can cash out. It's okay. And to me, at the very base level, that is ownership. All right. Now, that's not the textbook definition of NFT ownership. That's just plain and simple base level ownership. Do you own something? Yes. Can you sell it? Yes. There you go. Now, do you have to sell it here? Yes, you do. Can you move it somewhere else? No, you can't. Do you still own it? Yes, you do. Why? because you can sell it. It's pretty simple, you guys. Now, do we want to be able to put it in a stuff like if we go back here, do we want stuff to be in a cold storage wallet? Sure. For security issues, for reasons that could be out of our control. We want to control our stuff. People want to control the stuff they own. I get it. I totally get it. People want to have true ownership. They want to take it anywhere they want. And a lot of people put money into the app based upon that promise. There's no denying any of that. We all know that. But that's not happening right now. Now, there's a few other things. I hope you guys are following along here, because I'm going to get to your comments again right here, because I want to know what you guys are thinking. But there's a few other things behind this. Now, the issue of why we don't have interoperability is another issue, right? And so there are whole kinds of conversations around that going on right now. And those are important conversations for sure, you know? But the real main question is, in my opinion, if it's not working out for you on Veve, then why are you still here? So let's get back to the chat and let's see what you guys have to say. It's your turn now. And I'll keep talking about this as time goes on. I'm sure in the Twitter spaces, people are talking about this issue every day. But let's get right here. Let's go right here. Let's go. Where were we? Where were we right here? Maddie. Man, you are a beast. Inspire me to work harder. Thanks, Maddie. You guys inspire me big time. Jeremy, I've tried selling some of my collection, but I go through and can't bring myself to actually sell any of these things I love for these low prices. I really love most of the community too. I love everybody here, including the people who hate me. And there's a few, and I don't know why, but there are a few. Humbloo, how you doing? Great topic. Let's go. Yeah, let's get into this, you guys. You guys let me know. Bonesby, I'm a huge collector and gamer. I love these collectibles and have faith will be sitting pretty in the future. Yeah, for sure. I would agree. Ursed, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the chat today. I'm having a little bite of a granola bar. Veve can always turn around and deliver what they promised. Yeah, so about that, about what they promise, it's quite interesting. You know, I think it's really a matter of when. It's always been a matter of when. If there's issues around trust, around whether or not you believe what Veve's saying or not, fair enough. Then you ask yourself the question. If you ask yourself the question, why am I still here? I think you'll find the answer that'll get you through those things. If the answer of why you're still here is the same reasons you bought from the beginning, then I think you're good to go. If that's changed, that's okay. Now, them delivering what they're promised, that's a moving, fluid situation, you know? And there are tweets early on about interoperability big time, and that hasn't come yet. And we'd like some clearer answers about that for sure. Is that what's keeping you here or not, though? It's a really interesting question, so let me know. Jimbo, I'm a fan. I'm a new fan of Nicoletta Balderi. There you go. Mario, you know you love collecting when you don't care about prices going down. You enjoy holding your collection. Certain things you love, certain things you enjoy. It is true. Not everything is bought for money and for monetary gain in this app specifically. Bill, I'm here because the current floor price is irrelevant. I know what the future holds, and the price of these current collectibles will be unattainable for most down the road. That's a sentiment that a lot of people hold. We'll see if that comes to fruition. For sure. Doctor Strange. I got into Veve when there was no marketplace open yet. There wasn't even a market. I didn't come here to make money. Wasn't a thing yet. LOL. I love the IP and the AR. Saw profits during the run, but collecting is still my focus. For sure, man. Thanks for sharing that. It's perspective for sure. Kobe Collects is driving. and listening. Big shout out to you, Kobe. Thanks so much for listening in on your drive for sure. Love to get your thoughts on this topic too. Wop Manis, how you doing? My original OG strategy is still in play. I hold and play with them in AR. I'll sell some OMI and collectibles when I retire in 15 years. I'm in for the long haul. There you go. It's a simple thing, you guys. It's a very simple thing. You know, Veve has issues. Veve has people who are upset. Veve has people who are positive. People have negative. But no matter what your position is, ask yourself this question every now and again. It's important for you to recognize why you're still here. Okay? Because nobody has to be here. Nobody has to be. No one's forced to be here. Okay? With cash out back to the United States, you can cash out. It's okay. You can take your money. And like I said, there are reasons if we get into it. Big IP, Veveverse, the potential. People are invested. Maybe they can't leave. Maybe they don't feel like they can because they're invested too much. You know what I mean by that? I don't mean overextended. I mean they have too much stuff here. They really want to just have that stuff go up and they don't want to sell really low and leave yet. And the community. And people want Veve to succeed. This is the general notion that I'm getting from people. There's the collector aspect of it too. I love collecting. It's super fun and all that for sure. These are some major reasons right here. Major reasons. BioShock. I'm here because I still believe in the massive potential of digital assets, especially with big IP. Exactly. And I think most people do. Even people who are asking for the stuff and demanding the stuff and really upset, they believe in the same thing. So that doesn't change. That should not change in anyone's mind, right? It's a great question to ask yourself. Alan, how you doing? At this point, I'm not leaving until everything goes to zero or the moon. A few $1,000s will not change my life. A few $100,000, yes. Well, that's the thing. Some people are just waiting. They're just participating, waiting, and seeing where this thing goes because they can afford it. Bill, how you doing? Interoperability is unaffordable for me if paid in ETH. It would cost me $18K to send my collectibles off app. I paid in Polygon. It would cost me still $1 to $2K. That's an interesting point of view right there. Gas fees and things like that that come with all of that. That is an interesting point of view. Not a lot of people are talking about it. Thanks for bringing that up, Bill. That's good. Bob Sales, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Why are you still here, Bob Sales? That's what I want to know. I want to know. We're talking about it right here. BioShock, even with the blatant shenanigans and sneaky practices along the way, I still believe Veve can reach its potential. Yeah, man, it's good to ask yourself. It's really good, you know. Everyone's opinions are great. Interoperability issues. These issues right here. You can cash out if it's not working out. You know, it's quite interesting right here. Wes, the loud minority FUD Veve. No, that's an interesting statement, Wes, because if you are involved in any fandom, let's take Star Wars, for example. Star Wars Celebration is happening this weekend. Did you guys see my video about the movies coming out? What they announced yesterday. It's awesome if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm super excited. But there is a 1% of the Star Wars fandom, a 1% that's super loud, who just bashes everything, right? And it's true. It happens that way in any fandom. I'm not sure if it's specifically that in Veve. There are a very small few people who are just trying to crush Veve for no reason. And they can't because you just can't stop something like this. But there are people who have concerns, and that's not who the fudsters are necessarily. But they're very tiny, tiny little ones. You just block them out. It's no worries. Bob Sales, we still here. We will all win. And in the end, mate, I hope to party with everyone and see the chat on Twitter Space one day will come. Yeah, man. That's what we're hoping for too. Wes, US has the cash out. Yep, I'm in Canada, so I can't at the moment, but I was always able to at any time up until recently and will be again. I mean, it's not a worry for me. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Kryptoni. Big IP is probably the only thing that has been tested for endurance. Big IP digital assets are no brainer, in my opinion. But hey, what do I know? Kryptoni, you know a decent amount, my friend. That's for sure. You know a ton. Dr. Strange. Having transfers on at least give a sense of ownership because you could sell outside of the app. Yes. That's how people were getting around not having cash out. Feels like XFers would help right about now. Transfers. Yeah, so, you know, that was an issue because we didn't have cash out. It's true. You know, and so people were able to like buy and sell and everything. But like we said earlier, you know, you can cash out. And I want to, like I said, the true nature of this right here, of digital ownership, the interoperability issue is a very interesting one for me, for people. People in the crypto space, and fair enough, because I completely understand interoperability, just in case people don't know. I get it. I own NFTs all over the place, okay? You know? But people have to break it down to the bare base level, okay? Especially if you're in the business of collecting, like I've been. The bare base level of anything is, can you sell it? And you can sell it. Now you're forced, like I said, to sell it here on Veve, and you're forced to keep your stuff here. And people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that. That's not their definition of true ownership. There's issues around that, you know, security issues, trust issues with the platform, you know, lack of flexibility on what you can sell it for and all that kind of stuff. It's not as convenient, that's for sure, for some things. But at the same time, for some people in crypto, but at the same time, it's super convenient for people who don't care about crypto. So there's arguments on both sides. But the basic notion of you don't own your Veve NFTs because they're not interoperable, in my opinion, that's just not true. That's just wrong, because you got to go down to the lowest level. And the lowest level is, can you sell and can you cash out? Can you take your money out? Can you sell it? Yes, you can. But you have to do it here for now. For now. And they've promised that you'll be able to do it elsewhere. So that's an issue for people too, because they promised that in earlier tweets. You know, times change, things change. Big IP can't collect their royalties if the stuff is sold elsewhere, right? In the way it's structured, apparently. There's lots of issues as to why, and reasons as to why interoperability likely isn't here. You know, some of it might be they just changed their mind. Some of it might be the IP doesn't want it. The big IP is not ready for that yet. There's issues like that. That could be some of the reasons, right? There's all sorts of topics around this. Great discussion. But there should never be a topic on ownership of your NFTs here on Veve, because at the base level, you can sell it. And if you own something, I mean, you can't destroy it. You can't burn it. You can't send it somewhere else. You can't carry it around with you in a secure wallet. But guess what? You can carry around with you on your phone. I got somebody coming into the chat today, a legend, a master. I sent out the invite. I really wanted to get his opinion about this topic. And we'll get back to the chat too. It's Silicon Secure. How you doing?
What's up, MyCollectables? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks so much for joining my special live stream today. And the topic of the live stream, as you may know, is why are you still here? Now,
but I thought Veve was dead, man.
Let me frame it up for you and ask you, okay?
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear what you have to say, because but the framing of it is, you know, not asking people who are, you know, fudding, why are you still here? Just leave then. Just leave then. That's not what the topic is. The topic is a legitimate question. Why are you still here? Because I think it's important for people to ask themselves that question from time to time in anything they're involved with, right? Specifically in Veve, there are issues here that people have problems with. Interoperability is a big one that's right now blowing up all over the internet, all over Twitter. And so the question is okay, if that's an issue and you know exactly what's going on with the app, you know you can't move your stuff off, you know you can't sell it in other places, but you can sell it here, right? So the question is then why are you still here in the app? And not why are you still here, leave. It's really like literally, why are you still here then? And I had, you know, I went through a slide. You might have been watching. I'm not sure if you're watching, but I went through a slide of like, you know,
I
big IP,
I wanted to know
Okay,
what I
yeah.
was getting into.
So let me ask you that. So you joined. I want to hear.
Yeah. So I think that for me, it's the significance of what we're getting on the app, right? And then the ability to have an influence on where the app goes. Like we, as part of the community, have an influence on the direction in which this goes, right? Whether we believe it or not, we're a party to that. You talked about the trading, right? So someone put up a triangle in one of my tweets. Triangle was the ability to sell, buy. We have that, right? Ability to sell and buy. The
Yeah.
other part that's missing though is the trade angle,
Yeah.
and ability to trade. And I think that's what we're talking about, whether it's in the app under custody or the ability to do transfers. So I think that's really kind of the key missing piece that has been affecting the economy, has
Mhm.
been affecting the bill. Like with HRO, I can do trades. I can say, okay, I've got this one NFT. I want to be able to get year 3, or I want to be able to upgrade. People want to be able to make moves, and the velocity of trading is actually very important in the VV economy. So the velocity of trading has gone down.
Yeah.
Therefore, people are not as interested as they once were when they could just, do whatever they wanted, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big key that VV needs to look at. I think that we have an influence on what's happening. I think that the IP we have is very significant. I mean, no one's going to argue with you that the first Disney NFTs aren't significant. No one's going to argue with you the some of these superhero characters, Star Wars, Batman, Superman, et cetera, Mickey Mouse. I mean, it's just a who's who's list,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm here. But then I think the other aspect is a community, right? The community, if you've gone to in-person events, even if you haven't, you're part of your channel, for example, or you're on Twitter Spaces, or you're on watching VV Magic, or whatever it is. You're a part of the community in some way, and there's relationships and friendships that have been created. And guess
Yeah.
where that's going to go into the VV verse. And I really see this as a super, super early version of a whole social experience that we'll be able to have, and that David used behind. So, yes, are there issues and hiccups and road bumps? Yeah, with every single company, every successful company fails a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can learn from your failures. At the same time, us as consumers, we want to, it's just like give it to me now, instant gratification kind of lifestyle. I grew up in a different era, right? And I think you might have grown up in the same era I grew up in, which was,
No,
hey,
don't say our age. Don't tell anybody.
but in a
Some
different
people think
era,
I'm 25.
you had patience and you had to work for what you had. Yeah, you might get lucky and you buy something and it's worth double or triple, right? A collectible, for example, when you had your store. But in general, right, people buy something, they believe in it, and they hodl, right?
Yeah.
And then there's an opportunity to sell, which we've had actually a few on VV. And there's opportunities to buy, right? And so I think that people need to look at VV as an opportunity, for a lot of different things, for social, for trading, for enjoyment, for sharing, for all kinds of stuff. So for me, that's why I'm in VV. I initially came, obviously the attraction was, oh, this is NFTs, I'm going to be able to make a ton of money. And, there was that whole angle, right? I think
Yeah.
that NFTs brought, and there was a big, people kind of, that sale really kind of like blew people away, right? The $65 million sale, or whatever, something like that, 65 or 66.
Yeah.
So, you know, that got everyone's attention. And we had a what I call actually a mini bull run. People think it was a big bull run. It was a bunch of people buying and selling stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about the rest of the world, because they were just trying to figure out what the hell an NFT was.
Yeah.
So we're in a category where we're evangelizing what we have, where the technology is coming, where Apple and Meta are building the technology. They're still investing billions of dollars, even though, yeah, they've laid off people.
Mhm.
There may be some setbacks, but you need to scale out and realize there's a bigger picture here. There's a need for it, and we can sense it. And
Yeah.
my instincts tell me VV's someone on your channel mentioned, why are you here? Because it's the place to be. it's the place to be. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think the community makes it the place to be for sure, and the IPs for sure. Let me ask you this about the notion of digital ownership, like actual real ownership, because my thoughts on it are, and you might have seen right here with the interoperability issue I was talking about early. And I get it, right? Like I get the NFTs, the definition of digital ownership. A lot of people have is that they're self custody, interoperable, all that stuff. Being able to take it off, put it in your wallet, move it around. That's the whole like beauty of crypto. I mean, nobody's denying that. Bitcoin and the whole reason why this stuff was created, the technology behind it. But I come from that background of buy and sell and trade, like you said, that triangle you just talked about. We don't have that third part yet. Again, we had it with transfers, right? We could do it then, but we don't have it. But then we didn't have cash out then, so it's like we always had two. We had 2 out of 3, right? But my thought about what real ownership is just the ability to sell it. Like if you own something, you can sell it for like fiat, real world money. You can take that money. You can do anything you want with that money. Now, Veve, you're forced to do it here at the moment. We can only do it here, right? And your stuff has to stay here in the market. So some people think that's not true ownership. I want to get your thoughts about that because I think as long as you can sell it, then that's actual true ownership in regards to the base level, like the base level thinking of things, and that might not.
So what did people do? Let's just go back a little bit. What did people do in gaming? Right, when they were playing different games, let's say World of Warcraft or all these other games back in the day, and they wanted to sell some stuff.
Yeah.
What did they do? They sold their account, right?
Yeah.
And we've already seen one big whale, which I don't want to name any more names because there's a lot of like stuff flying around. But we saw one big whale.
You want to get into that, Silicon? You want to get into it?
Yeah. Look, I come in peace,
Of course.
But the deal is, what did some people do, or maybe whales? You put your account in a trust, right? You put your account in a trust, and then the trust owns it, and then you buy and sell the trust. I mean, it's a basic, you can put it into its own business essentially, right? So, if you want to do that, if you have enough, and this is a big deal. Now, if you're just getting started, or you have a small amount of collectibles, it's not worth to go through all that effort. I get it,
Yeah.
And so we'd all love that functionality. I think, it's up to the community to make it crystal clear to the leadership of what they want. And it's really clear to me that people want to trade. That's something I think that's important. So, it's just really up to us. What whale? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments. I mean,
No, it's okay.
you got to get on Twitter. If you haven't been on Twitter, you're missing like 90% of the conversation. I'll just leave it at that.
That's interesting, though. That's interesting because I actually don't think most of the community is actually in Twitter. In that,
I know.
I think most of the community is
for good reason,
not
or
really
maybe
involved. Yeah, in those conversations that everybody on Twitter thinks everyone's involved in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, maybe people should show up on Twitter because
they should. They should show. They should go there.
We have a acidic, toxic situation on Twitter where we actually had a pretty good community, and it just takes a few rotten apples to start rotting the whole batch. And so we're fighting to kind of keep that positivity. And again, we can be realistic, but we can be realistic in a way that respects people, in a way that is that is, yes, can be critical. There's nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
But do it in a way that doesn't personally offend people, doesn't personally attack people. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, let's bring the good people on Twitter as well. Not and there are a lot of good people there, but we need backup. So calling all Veve fam, come support the cause. Because we're early, right? Like I said, we have the ability to influence where this goes, how the community interacts. The Twitter community is an example of what the Veveverse community could be like. And there's a lot of parallels there. And that's why I think it's so important. That's why I want a community that respects each other, that, and you look at the Discord mods, they've done a great job. And a lot of people criticize the Discord mods for, collecting stuff that program their program and all this other stuff. But you know what? They do work, and they deserve to get what they get, and Vivi gives it to them. But they police their when I say maybe not police is too strong a word, but they
Yeah.
go in and they moderate, right? And they make sure that people aren't offending and attacking, right? And offending and attacking in a way that's not good for a community, right? That makes good people walk away.
Yeah.
So, I think even if you look at the metaverse, we're going to need that, right? You're going to have crazy people in the metaverse. Okay, well, I'll mute you for, or maybe you can't come in my personal space, right? Because, it's not allowed, right? I don't allow that kind of conduct. And
Yeah.
so I think, just like YouTube, right? Could you do anything you wanted on YouTube? Could you like run around naked? Yeah, you probably could, my collectibles. But,
No one wants to see that,
we would yeah, we wouldn't see you again,
including
right?
me.
Like, your channel would be banned, right? Like, instantly, and that's what I'm
Or it
talking.
would blow up.
Yeah, it would blow up for a minute, and then it would fizzle out. And so because YouTube would cut you off, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, right? Like, there's a reason why, they do that, because they wanna create a place that, yes, people could share their views, but that people, this isn't xporn.com, right? This is YouTube. So anyway,
No, man, those are great points, Silicon. Great points for sure. Like, so there's a couple of questions that come up about, with promises, right? And we've heard this, and you've talked about this like a lot, like, on the different live streams you've been on, and of course in the Twitter spaces you've been on. And the broken promises. Now, this is why I ask people this question, like, why are you still here? Like, and not like, leave, right? It's literally like, what do you think about the broken promises, or what's your take on, just for the community here, on the things that they've tweeted out in the past that haven't come through? Some of it for me has to do with just basically they weren't able to fulfill those things, manpower, staffing, whatever, technology, things changes, IPs pull them in different directions, all that. But what about the notion of them literally just like, promising stuff and then not coming through on it, with the impression that it's just a straight up lie? Now, if people are asking that question and think about that question, then the question for them is, okay, if that's what you believe, then why are you still here if in a project that you don't trust, right? Because it's the trust aspect that people are kind of wavering.
yeah,
Some people are. So what's your take on that whole situation there? And how do you feel about the team in regards to what they've promised and not delivered? I know it's a big question.
yeah. Well, I mean, for
We've
anyone
answered
that
it
does
10 times, but
anyone that doesn't know, I have almost 3,600 collectibles and comics on the app, right? So
yeah,
it's, there's a decent amount of money that I put in the system, and or into VV, into my account, whatever you want to call it. Um, and I think at the end of the day, there needs to be some level of trust. We're so early that VV is trying to kind of find their footing and figure out, do they go left, do they go right? We didn't have a product management team up until recently, right? Mitch joining. So, VV's kind of learning as they go and adjusting their plan. Apparently, according to, I think Ben Gandazi, who was in the space, he
yeah,
kind of mentioned that, there was these pillars, people were asking about, hey, where's the wallet? Where's this? Where's the original plan? They sucked all these Web3 people in,
yeah.
crypto people, and then they didn't deliver. And I get that totally. Cause I mean, that was the whole thing about the project, is you did the research, and,
In the
you
early days.
yeah, in the early days, like,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
and they're questioning their token, holdings and all this stuff, right? So I think that at the end of the day, it sounded like Ben mentioned that they decided to just focus on the collectibles. And there's nothing wrong with focusing. I think focusing is important. It lets you get good at something. It lets you be the best at something because you're just focused in that one category.
Yeah.
Now, could they have told everyone, "Hey, we're not gonna do this, or we're switching our plan?" Yeah, they could have better communicated. There's communication challenges, right, when VV decides to shift strategies. At the same time, they don't wanna let their competitors know exactly what they're doing either, right? Because, like, this is a dynamic, this is an actual business, with shareholders, and you know, legal contracts and licenses and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So, they have to like think of VV at the center, and then you have the users, which we think we're everything, but we're not. Then you
Hmm.
have the licensors, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So then they think they're everything, but they're not, right? Then you have the general media and community and public, right, perception. Then you have potential partnerships, again, all these pieces that kind of stack together in a business. And then you have, decisions that need to be made on the fly, right?
Yeah.
Do I do this? Do I do that? Oops. Okay, maybe that wasn't the right decision. All right, let's step back and let's, literally building the machine, right? And so, we're all here because we're blown away by the magical feeling that VV gave us, the magical feeling that VV gave us early, right? And that was the exciting, fun part. And of course, it helped when prices were rising, right?
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, like now they're in a position where they're like, okay, we want to really make this the third place that people go. Like David Hughes made it clear that's a strategy. You go to work, you're at home, and then he wants the VV verse. So, you know, I want to see him do that. Who else is doing this, right? Meta's spending billions. Vivi somehow, got a huge following, and they're not spending as much, right? They're conservative. They're because they're experimenting. They got to see what works or what doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
not just about the NFTs, and they made it really clear the NFTs were actually a small part of Vivi. It's the Vivi verse. It's the experience. This is an opportunity to change the world and be on the ground floor of something that's doing that, and not every day do you get that kind of an opportunity to do that, to learn from Vivi's mistakes, right? It's also learning for us, like, okay, well, what could we learn from that? We're all getting trained the same way, right? We're all part of it in one way or the other, and we all have a say. Whether we think that say is big or small is a different story. Whether we think they're listening or not, it's a different story, but we do have a say. And together as community, we have a say, a big say. But so do the licensors, so do the partners, so do so does legal Dave, right? So does all these
Yeah.
people that help kind of make the decisions. So does David. David has a big say on how things are collected and what happens in the app. So um, yeah, yeah. I think that they're kind of they got a big toy box and you're laying it all on the ground and you're trying to figure out what goes where, and they're still they're still building it and they're doing it the right way. Now, is it up to our standards? Do we think they could do something else? Do we think, are we all frustrated? Yeah, yeah, I'm sure people are frustrated, right? But they're building something huge, right? Like they still have Alcon, they still have Disney, they still have, and like they still have all these things, Marvel, Star Wars, and they have like their first NFTs. I mean, Batman, DC. I mean, it's a place where else do you see that, other than like OpenSea? And you don't see licensed IP. You just see like random projects. But where else can you get, yes, there's the back house. Okay, you can get Batman stuff, right? And yeah, you'll be welcome in the DC universe, but nothing like Vivi. If I look at Nifty Gateway, it's just curated artists. It's not, yes, there's some famous people, but again, it's nothing like Vivi, right? And so we
Yeah.
know that this is special in our heart and in our hearts. I know this is special in my heart. Like that's why I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're a baby growing up. You're gonna make mistakes. Yeah, don't put the electrical cord in your mouth. Like it's basic stuff. Don't stick your finger in the socket. And you learn. And so Vivi's a baby. We're a couple years old, right? As a company.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Those are all great points, man. And no, I appreciate you coming on to lay it out like that. It's always great to talk with you. So, how do you
Yeah.
feel about people who, you know, are just holding on right here? I mean, what would you say
I'm
to
holding.
people who, yeah, you're holding on?
I'm holding on.
Yeah, what I mean by that is like just holding on, like
Oh, like
they're
barely,
just on the edge. They're
like the
kind of like
cat, they're
not
like that
sure.
cat meme where it's like,
Yeah, you're like just
hanging.
the little claw there,
Yeah.
and their confidence is a little bit kind of shook because they're on Twitter, and You know, when you're on Twitter, it can really it can get at you. You know, like this stuff can get at people daily, right? Like it's daily exposure to people who just, you know, are constantly on, you know, pushing the same narratives right now for whatever reasons. You know, it's all good. Like, you know, but it's important to like, this is why I put the thing. I'm going to go back to this. People have been listening. This is why I put the question out there. You got to ask yourself. Only you can answer the question for yourself, right? But what would you say to people who are maybe kind of holding on right here, in regards to like maybe a reason why, you know, Veve should be something they should still be involved with? You know, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go there if you don't want to, because, you know, I don't like to tell people what to do. But what would you say to those people? You know, specifically in the next 2 months.
Yeah. Well, first I got to answer Big A right there, and he's like, "Hey, it's
What's
impossible.
Big A saying?
It's impossible to put your finger in the socket." I get it. It's just that, you know, it's a
Yeah.
common saying, dude. I totally get it. But you know, it's not impossible to stick, you know, a fork in the socket with your hand connected to it. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, the point is, yes, we're still young, but you know, going back to your point, my collectibles, you know, that's part of a market cycle, right? Uh, Again, to look at different types of markets, when people are stressed to the point of breaking, there's opportunities, and so I'm not trying to encourage those people to do anything. I'm just saying, you know, there's opportunities, right? And there's opportunities for people to capitalize, and there's opportunities for people to just walk away. There's opportunities for, you know, just hodl and walk away. And at one point in one of my interviews with Pirates, I said, you might be better locking away your collection from yourself and walking away and coming back in 5 years or 10 years, right?
Mhm.
Like walking away, meaning don't be your worst enemy, right? And
Yeah.
so, you know, I
That's an
think that,
interesting take. That's an interesting point of view too,
yeah, yeah,
because you don't have to do anything.
you already got it, right? Like
You
you
just
already
leave.
got what you wanted. You got the first Star Wars set, or you got the, you know, whatever. You can just, if you
But what
can't
else is
handle
coming?
it,
Like,
well,
you can't
get
miss
out,
out.
get out of the casino and walk away. You got the significant IP, right?
Yeah.
Like not everything is going to be significant. I only have 102 or one sets. I don't have 200 and something sets. Why? You know, I could complete everything probably.
Yeah.
Well, almost everything. I'm not going to get a James Bond ticket. But you know, I could complete a lot of sets, a lot more
Sure.
sets than I am. But
Sure.
why? Because that's not my strategy. My strategy is holding significant IP, and stacking what I think is going to be what's going to be a grail. And I actually got someone on Twitter tell me, you know, just because Spider-Man was first Marvel's release of an NFT doesn't make it a grail. Well, it does to me. You know, like how is that not significant? Like the first Marvel release, right? And so,
Yeah.
I stacked Spider-Man, right?
For sure.
Or you know, whatever the case is. So you know, when I make my choices, you know, it's a long-term plan, with a long-term strategy, and I've seen it work well for me in coins, and I know
Yeah.
it works, and those cycles are a lot longer. So what does it take? It takes patience. It
Hmm.
takes sometimes walking away, and I do walk away. I walk away for a couple weeks at a time, and I come back, and there's all kinds of stuff that happened. I'm like, okay, 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 caught up. But you know, like it's, you know, some people need to be entertained, right? We just need this to stay. You know, we need Vivi to execute on their plan, and you know, we need to zoom the hell out. We're looking at Vivi under a microscope.
Hmm.
We need to give them the ability to, you know, come out of their shell and do what they need to do,
Hmm.
and support them and guide them in the right direction. And I
For
think that's
sure.
cool because, you know, we have a lot of experience collectively as a community. This community, I mean, some of the people I've met are amazing in all different walks of lives with all different perspectives. The one thing we have in common is we love this IP. We love collecting stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Well said. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go too now, just so I can get back to the
Yeah.
chat. But Silicon man, it's so awesome to have you on. Your perspective is great. I mean, you've been here from the start, And yeah, I respect you, man. And like, you're very calm and level headed about this kind of stuff. And even when we go into the Twitter spaces, as you mentioned, I would encourage more people to get in there and give their opinions about it, because it seems like the same crowd is constantly talking there, and we need to hear from everybody else. That's why I put this live stream out. I want to know why people are still here, because we hear from the same people all the time, including me. You know, I'm one of those people that I always give my opinions, of course, but I want people to come out and, like, you know, just consider like the perspectives of somebody who's been here a long time, like Silicon and others, and let us know why you're here. There's a lot of silent people here in the background. Like in any fandom, there's 1% that are really loud, and that's either or, up and down, like positive, negative. There's a huge percentage of fandoms that don't go online and say, I love this, you know, or I hate this. They just kind of sit in the background and watch. And those are the people I want to hear from too. So
yeah. No,
man,
thanks for having me, MyCollectables. I appreciate it. It's
yeah.
always fun to be on your channel. And I was trying to figure out what time the stream was, and I realized that you just sent me a message and said, jump on. And I'm like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, I threw this. I kind of like didn't really schedule this one. I wanted to jump out here and surprise people and get their immediate, honest reactions, and just kind of go with the flow. So, yeah, man,
I think it's a great conversation. I think it's a great conversation.
For sure.
You're being a leader in it, and I think it's good for people to understand why they're here. It's always good to question why you do something, why you're spending your time, because the most important thing you have is time, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, why are you spending your time, and then why are you spending your money and your energy? And as far as the Twitter community, yes, we need a balance. It's a little imbalanced right now. People like to, you know, give a certain opinion, and it becomes imbalanced. I think it's good to zoom out, and I appreciate you for staying positive and having that, you know, asking these questions, right? These are hard questions that people need to ask themselves and understand, you know, why are they here? So anyway, love you guys. Have a good one. Peace out. Take care.
We'll see you next time, Silicon. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
So great to have Silicon here coming into the chat and giving his opinions. Guys, let us know what you think about some of the stuff he was saying. Lots of great stuff there from someone who's been here longer than most. You know, one of the originals. And it's really important to ask, you know, like, you know, he asks himself that question all the time. Let's get back to the chat too. Big A, I'm here to make money too. Because this is referencing somebody who said that earlier. But there are lots of places I could do that. Veve is one of the ways that I've really enjoyed, and still up over 100% on my investment, most thanks to landing secret rare miles. Yeah, that one will do it for you. Duck and Cover, how you doing? I bought Omi to make money. I only ever use profits from collectibles to get money for other collectibles. Yeah, be tight, you know, be disciplined. That's a great way to do it for sure. Simone, cash out back only for the US. Apparently it's only for the US at the moment for sure. Guillaume, how you doing? Platinum moment Grogu. Let's go. That's what we want for sure. Bill, it would be incredible for sure. Veve Arcade, I'm going to bust through the chat here really quick, you guys. I do feel bad for people going all in on Omi and Veve still not using it on the app. Maybe being early wasn't so good. Yeah, man, there are issues around that for sure. So, you know, if the reasons they went in, you know, to get Omi, you know, if those are the same reasons they believe it today, you know, and we're having Omi, we're going to be getting that option at some point, you know, I mean, at least we hope we will still, right? So, you know, if people are like fully in on that, remember, it's all speculative, you know, even from the start. So, you know, I don't feel bad. I just hope that they fulfill what they promise for sure. Steve, why would someone want any business to fail? Well, like from the outside? Well, if they're running a competitive business, a competitor against them, then then that could be one of the reasons for sure. Sven, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the chat today. I hope you're having a great time in here. I hope you guys are asking yourselves this question. Veve Arcade, I bought Omi more than a year ago and haven't since. There's no use for it, and Vive's running without it. Wonder how long until it is OS. Yeah, we'll see, right? We're still waiting as well. I give Omi away on the channel, and I have Omi as well. So I'm waiting just like the rest of you guys too, right? SD, how you doing? Veve is trash. You need a minimum upside of 20% to make any profits. Yeah, well, that's okay. So like, if you're feeling that Veve isn't a good place to make profits, then that's a good thing. So that the question is like, why are you still here? Or are you here? Or are you just in the chat to say VV is trash because you can't make profits? You know, if this is like a place where you want to make profits, either you got to like, you know, get a better strategy, or you got to like look somewhere else to try to make profits. Is that what if that's what your game is? I know a lot of people do make profits here on the app and do quite well. So what's your strategy, Essie? I'm guessing it's not very good if you're, you know, if you're constantly losing, you know, but yeah, it just is what it is. VV Arcade, until VV implements it, now OUP is being merged with MCP. Yeah, they're adjusting things for sure. And we'll see how that's going to go. Tang! I'm here because I believe that comics will become like movies, music and pictures, almost entirely digital. I know Marvel will want to push their customer to digital, and there's way more money to be made. They're already starting to do that. It's already happening. Now, the old grails that are all graded and stuff and going for huge money online for sure. But the newer releases, at some point, most of the comic book collecting world should recognize that it's going digital. You know, they don't really need to print comics anymore, physical comics. They don't really need to do that. Like to get their stories out and to sell to the masses. They literally just don't. They can have a subscription service like they do on Marvel's website. You can subscribe there and all that kind of stuff without actually owning them. You can pay, kind of like, you know, if you're on Netflix and you're watching movies, you know, you just have a subscription service. It's not like, you know, Apple's site where you can buy the movies, or Amazon where you can buy it. And guess what? You can only watch them on that platform. But people seem to have no problem doing that, buying a movie on the Apple site and actually watching it on their Apple device or on another device that accesses their Apple. I mean, people don't have a problem with that. So the same thing is happening with comic books. It's just a matter of time before the printing presses stop, you guys. I mean, like it just is. Okay. I mean, it's just the way the world is going. There'll always be room for print in some way, though. Believe me, I used to be a magazine art director in my graphic design career. I spent 6 years as the art director of a printed magazine in the Vancouver area. So I know all about the print industry. Okay. I know all about it. Okay. I don't talk about my history there in graphic design that much, but I used to be the art director of a magazine. So I know all about the printing industry and that kind of thing. And, you know, the ins and outs of it, you know, subscription services, ad sales, all that stuff. Because I lived it for like 5 or 6 years. I'm not like a master at it, but I was right in there. So there's always room for print, but it's going digital for sure. Doctor Strange, great interview with Mr. MC1 on Randy's channel last night. They touched on that aspect of Omi VV Arcade. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but it's over on Randy's channel. Mr. MC1 was over there having a nice interview. So I'm definitely going to be watching that a bit later for sure. Humlu, how you doing? If VV made promises, they need to keep the community updated and on promised items and be transparent. Yeah, 100%. But I'm a long-term collector, investor, and would like to see future opportunities to transfer, gift, donate NFTs. I would love that too. We used to do transfers here. We used to do giveaways on the channel. It allowed people to do their own transactions off app, which was a bit part of the problem, I think, for fraud issues and stuff like that too. But I definitely want trades or transfers back here. I've been asking for that too. And like Silicon said, there's like 3 levels, right? The little triangle right there. Trading is one of them. Buy, sell, trade. So you got to have that here eventually or in some capacity. So I agree with that for sure. Simone, I have a bank that is in the US, but because I am located in France, it won't let me cash out. When I literally send money to an American bank. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how that works. I'm in Canada, so I'm just waiting for my cash out to be turned back on as well. Bob Sales, I'm still here because I believe in Veve and the IPs they have. Yes, they make silly mistakes, but I still believe they have lightning in a bottle and the community changed my life. Yeah, man, I agree. And Bob Sales, you know, you're very open and honest with stuff with your videos you make. And, you know, you're definitely not a moon boy. You know what I mean? If people want to clarify that. So I appreciate that, your comments there, because, you know, criticism is like valid and stuff like in all these kind of things for sure. Right. So thanks, Bob Sales, for sharing your opinion. KGM Jam. Read article yesterday of Apple buying Disney. If that happened, would Apple also buy Veve? I haven't heard that of Apple buying Disney. Wow, that would be quite the mega merge, wouldn't it? There's an article about that. That's interesting. I mean, I would almost think it'd be the other way around, but Apple is a ginormous I mean, those are both huge companies. Could you imagine the power behind that? Holy smokes. But I don't know about that with how that would work with Veve or anything like that. Duck and cover, for me, it's not personally no interoperability, if that's the big problem. It's the promise in which people decide to put money in that has now been taken back. Yeah, and that's what people have been upset about lately. They've been asking that question, like, you know, these are the tweets, they bring them up from the past and just harp on that stuff for sure. Yeah, the promise. So knowing that those promises weren't delivered and knowing that some of that stuff has not happened yet, then you have to ask the question, why are you still here? Not you, Duck and Cover, but this is why I'm putting this video out. It reaffirms or clarifies the reasons to either stay or leave in your own mind, you know, because that is an issue. That's stuff that's happened. No one's denying that. Certainly, I'm not going to deny that here on the channel, you know, for sure, right? So, you know, it's the promises. So you feel when you say that the promises they made and they didn't fulfill on them. So there's an issue of trust there is what I'm getting at, is what I'm picking up from what you're saying, Duck and Cover. So, and that is a total, you know, that is a total factor in people's decisions as to whether or not they want to keep putting money in here or stay here or wait, you know, or if they just want a general apology. Maybe they just want, people just want a recognition and an apology, you know, from the company. Sometimes that happens. Hey guys, we screwed up. We messed up. We're sorry, but we're doing better. And I think they've been saying stuff like that lately. But also they've been kind of not fully, you know, taking full responsibility for some of those early promises yet. We still don't know why some of that stuff hasn't happened. That's why there's all this, you know, there's all this like, you know, speculation and opinions that people put out. And I would always like to remind people, when you're putting out your opinion, just make sure you put in front of that, in my opinion. Other people that you're talking to, not you, Duck and Cover, other people that you're talking to appreciate that. And it clarifies that you're not saying that you're 100% right, but it's just your opinion. I try to say that all the time, in my opinion, because, you know, it is just mine. But yeah, I hear you, man, for sure. Sven, I'm still here because I believe when I started collecting Pokemon cards, everyone was laughing at me. And now my stack is more expensive than ever. Let people laugh, I will collect. That's interesting. People outside of the Pokemon community were probably wondering, what the heck? Why are you collecting those silly kids cards? And now, I mean, oh my goodness, if you were an early collector of Pokemon, forget about it. And that's 20 something years ago, right? So yeah, I hear you, man, for sure. Hello, Chatelaine, how you doing? You can cash out is not an answer. It's like someone saying, if you don't like a country, you can leave. No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think it is an answer for me because it goes down to the bare minimum, being able to, like, you know, get your money out, sell something. And if you own something, you should be able to sell something, and you should be able to convert it into like the base denomination of what it's worth, and then take that money. And you can take your money anywhere you want. Here's the thing, right? I don't think it has anything to do with the country that you can leave. I don't see that as a connecting. I see what you're getting at. I just don't see the connection with the country metaphor there. But like, if you could, like, you can take money anywhere, right? I mean, and like, that's what Veve, you have your collectible, you have your gem, and your gem is money, right? So you can actually turn your collectible into the gem, into money, and you can walk out with your money. Your money doesn't stay, your money's not locked in Veve, right? So you do own your money, right? Everybody owns their money, right? I mean, if you put it in a bank, if your money's in a bank, they can take it from you, just so you know. So unless your money is physically printed in under your mattress in your house, you don't own that either. Right? Like, if you really want to get into this, right? Okay, so if we really want to talk about it, like, let's talk about it, right? Because if we really want to talk about where you put your cash and how they charge you, your banks charge you interest just to hold your cash there, and it's all digital. It's not even actual physical class. I mean, let's get real here, everybody. It's a reality check time, right? But generally speaking, we'll back up a little bit. If you can sell your stuff and you can take that cash and move your cash anywhere, then you do own that item. The only thing is you're forced to do it here on the Veve app. You have to do it here for the time being. And some people have a problem with that. And so, you know, Veve promised that that wouldn't always be the case. So I can see where the issue is for sure. So then you ask yourself, okay, can I accept that? Can I accept that I can only do that here on the Veve app? And if you can't accept that, You can cash out. So you have freedom. It's okay. You got it. You got control of it. It's in your hands. It's in your control. You can sell your stuff. You can take your money and you can cash out and you're okay. Like you have freedom, right? You can't move the stuff around and play with them like people want to play with their NFTs and put them in their secure wallets and like hold on to them forever because they believe in the NFTs. They believe in the big IP. They believe in the VVverse. They believe in the potential. They're already invested. They believe mostly in the community. That's why they want this, the interoperability, because they actually believe they want the NFTs. Okay. They want them. People want these NFTs and they want them to be true NFTs, right? I get it. But knowing that they're not able to take it off platform, is that okay? Is that okay for people? People have to ask themselves that question and they have to come to the, decision. And I think a lot of people are debating that right now. That's why I put this out here. That's why I put this out. Why are we still here? Dr. Strange, Veve used to be engaged with the community more in the past. They've been pretty quiet lately. I think moves are really being made. I'm still accumulating. Yeah, they're doing stuff in the background right now for sure. 100%. Le Chatelet, the lowest level is, can you burn it? That is true. He did find the lowest level. I love that. Yeah. Can you burn it? Can you destroy something? If you own something, can you destroy it? Can you burn it? I know burning, you mean with the NFT, sending it to a burn wallet. I get it. But like physically, like if you owned a Star Wars toy, like this guy, I could melt him in a fire and I could completely eradicate him from the planet. Dr. Strange agrees. That was a good one, Le Chatelet. That was a good one. I love that. Boss Hills, from my side, when I first got into Veve, I was a very depressed place. Bad breakup after 8 years. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. And I was not coping. You people helped me turn my life around and made me whole again. Dude, that is incredible, man. Wow. Hopefully you're feeling better, man. No, that's what the power of a community is. It's one of the reasons why people are still here. Community is a big one. But wow, Bob Sales, thanks for sharing, man. We're all here for you. You know how it goes for sure. You watched my first Bob Sales vid, how sad I sound. And then you watch now how I sound with Veve and the users. Your channel did that. We all did it together. We're doing this thing together. We're sticking together, you guys. That's what it's all about. And you know how much we appreciate you, Bob Sales. Bill, he's here because he's the real OG. There you go. Silicon was here for a while, so that was good. There's everyone saying hi to Silicon here in the chat. I'm getting through the chat, guys. JLC, I'm still here, sort of, because you're all here. It's true. We're all kind of hanging out together, seeing where this is going to go, right? It's true. It's hard, right? The community is, there's a lot of people. You can make friends here for sure. And even people who are just trashing Veve, they're still a community together. They're trashing them together. It's fun when they're hanging out together, thrashing on something. There's all sorts of communities in different kind of ways, right? And so that's one big aspect of it for sure. Silicon Kit has a Kit Arcade and it's interoperable. There you go. So are my drop heads. That's true. We're making NFTs, we're doing it. I love it. Sven, Veve Arcade, and I'm still here because of these crazy influencers that make it cool to be part of the community. MC, Chavez, Silicon. Yeah, well, we're just having fun. I'm here for you guys, for sure. I haven't really answered the questions as to why I'm here. I've asked everybody else, but I actually haven't asked that question. I haven't answered that question myself to you guys. I'll do that shortly here as well. Dr. Strange, looks like my Veve profile top. LOL, 2 Todds. There you go. Bob says that's the honest take from my side. Hope y'all appreciate the honesty there. Yeah, man, we do. That's why we're asking. Honest take. And the thing about it is like I said, just be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. Everybody, ask yourself this question. And then, it'll help clarify what the point is. You got to do this every now and again. And if the answers are, I don't want to be here anymore, that's okay. You can always come back. No one wants anyone to leave, But if the answers are, to this, why am I still here? If you can't find an answer as to why you're still here, that is satisfying, then, you have decisions to make, but if you get to the aspects of why you're still, you can focus on those things. If it is here, if you're still like, there's all sorts of answers to this question. It could be, I'm still here because I want to get lucky and get a secret rare on the drop. And there's some big stuff that comes and I can easily flip that and make some cash. That's a good reason to still be. That's okay. You can be here for that reason. It's all good. If part of the reasons is like just hanging out, waiting for a grail to come, going for the drop, and hopefully landing a secret rare, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a reason to keep your account open, right? There's always the chance. I know that's why a lot of people are here. There are a lot of people who talk about all the problems of Veve, but they're still hanging around because there's always a chance of another secret rare miles coming around and them making 10K in 1 second. Okay, so that happens still. It's very, very few people get that lucky opportunity, but that's still a reason for people to be here. If why are you still here is, I just love Spider-Man and I collect anything Spider-Man inside and outside Veve. And if another platform comes out with Spider-Man, I'm going to buy there too. I mean, that's another reason, right? Like there's all sorts of questions here, right? There's all sorts of, just find your answers and then it'll clarify what you're doing. It'll clarify like, for you, why you want to be here or not, and everybody's got a different answer and every answer is just fine. And some people might not have an answer and they might decide, well, maybe I should just go. And the best part is you can cash out. You own your stuff. People saying you don't own your stuff here because you can't move it around. That's one way to look at it. But if you can actually sell it and take your cash, you own it. That's the way I look at things because, that's the way it is in the real world. I can move my toys all over the place. But the basic thing is, can I sell them and can I turn them into cash as an owner? If you own something, the base level is being able to sell it as well. If I have to look at stuff here, on this app, and I'm stuck on this app and I can't take it off anywhere else, I still own it. I just own it here. Okay. It's not ideal for some people. If I own my movies that I purchased on Apple and I have to watch them on my Apple TV device, I still own those movies. I purchased them, I still own them. I can still enjoy them. I'm stuck there though, right? Would it be nice to move them all over the place? Sure. But technically you can move your Veve NFTs on any device that you log in on. So it's kind of interesting for that, right? And the Veveverse is going to be another level. So the thing is, right, you can cash out. There we go. Where's my exit liquidity? Jojo, there you go. Well, you can sell, right? For sure. Sven, Silicon holding my blue 1992 Todd. Do not worry. There you go. Fortnite, how you doing? When will Veve be in OpenSea? Probably never. I think the bigger question is, when will Fortnite give ownership to their users of the skins that people purchase over on that platform as they build their little metaverse and people pay, the V-Bucks and they buy their skins and all their music and all their stuff that they buy on their platform, but don't actually own it all and just play the game there. And people seem to be super happy with that in gaming, right? They don't seem to have any problem with that. Once the gaming community starts to figure out that, you should be able to own all this stuff and you should be able to take that one skin and you should be able to use that skin on multiple different gaming systems. You should be able to take that skin and go in and play. You should be able to play Resident Evil with a Fortnite skin. Like, why not? Are people freaking out at Fortnite about that yet? They're not. They're just enjoying the game, going in there, putting money into the game. There's hordes of money going in, having all their stuff sitting there in their account that they do not own at all. Okay. They can't sell any of it, right? You have to sell your entire account. They can't sell any of that stuff. They can't take any money back out. And Fortnite is massive. You know why? Because the general population doesn't care about crypto. So, it's all different kinds of perspectives. Veve is a much better opportunity in regards to owning your stuff. because you can sell it. So it's a way that it's just the way people look at things. You know what I mean? People get really caught up in this app, and they don't look at other other massive areas, right? It's really quite interesting to me, NFTs are not World of Warcraft. Yeah, but they will be. NFTs in gaming is the next biggest massive thing, you guys. Bigger than anything you could possibly imagine. Gaming is bigger than movies. It's the biggest entertainment in the world, pretty much. Music is right up there too. NFTs and music, ownership. The gaming platforms, they're not there yet either. They're just starting to develop that. These Veve collectibles we have right here, be really interesting to see where gaming goes with our little drivable cars and stuff. It's all coming in the future, guys. So, owning that Spider-Man skin and being able to use it across multiple game systems, multiple games would be absolutely amazing. It's already in the background. It's coming. Bill Gardner, number 2 whale, threatening number 1 whale to turn him in if he doesn't buy his account for the set amount. Oh, is that what's going on? The big whales? Yeah. The big whales for sure. Sanji, I wonder if Veve can make a trade feature and it would apply the license fees automatically to the trade. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I would love that. They can still take their fees, the same way that if you made a sale. In fact, it's interesting. So the person initiating the trade, I guess, would have the fee charged to them. Or they could charge a smaller, different kind of trade fee and open up a whole new revenue stream for the IPs and for Veve. And people would gladly pay it if it was small and you could trade that way. I mean, I would love it. That's what I want for sure. So I love that for sure. Matthew Lambie, what percentage of people who want full interoperability and full custody are actually honest people, though? Very few. That's an interesting take. I'm not sure about that. What percentage of people who want full interoperability and full custody are actual honest people, though? Very few. I don't know where you're going with that. I know that there are people on all sides, not being really honest with what they're actually doing here. That's why this question, I put it out here. Why are you still here? Right? Why are people here? That's what I want to know. I want an honest answer from people, with all the stuff that's going on. If you own it, you shouldn't. Percentage on every secondary sale is wrong. No, I think that's right. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. Just me personally, I don't mind. Secondary sale percentages. It's the way it is on the OpenSea as well. Matthew, licensed IP holders deserve their royalties that are in the Veve contracts. Full custody is mostly desired by scammers and cheaters. That's an interesting take. I don't totally fully agree with that for sure, because I think people want security with their stuff. Part of it is not trusting the Veve team from the failed promises. And also just the notion of like the whole aspect of NFTs and what people think an NFT is and what people think crypto is and what it's based upon, full ownership, sole custody, all that kind of stuff that, that people in crypto really value, treasure, and building the space upon that whole notion, right? And it's a battle going on with the masses, the general masses, who really don't care about any of that or don't seem to understand it or are afraid of it, to people who are really highly invested in crypto, who are like, that's what it's all about. It has to be that way or no other way, right? I think what we haven't seen what is actually the crypto space and NFTs and everything and what actually ownership truly means yet. We haven't seen it yet. I think people should keep an open mind because this stuff is being invented right in front of our face. And at some point, there's going to be a way to interact with these things, NFTs and, different platforms. It's going to change. It's changing all the time. And I don't think we fully understand yet, any of us, what it's going to look like in the end or where it's going to evolve to in a few years from now. That's why, I'm okay with my stuff being on Veve for the time being. It doesn't bother me at all that I can't move it off, and I have no worries about the team myself personally, like about, Disney and the IPs and stuff. I don't, I still own them, like, in the back end, even if the app crashed, I still actually like, theoretically, I still own them, right? I can't move them off so then I can go sell them somewhere else. And that's a concern by a lot of people, but it's not a concern by me, and if it is a concern by me, I'm just going to sell it all here. And I can move my money anywhere I want, You know, so Dr. Strange, with collectibles down so much, it's hard for some to even sell. Lowering market sale fees would give a little liquidity back. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Dr. Strange, if they like lowered market fees to allow people the ability to sell, to cash out. But I don't see why they would ever do that, because, you know, nobody told anyone to buy anything, you know? I mean, it's everybody's own personal decision to buy or not. And, you know, in the collectible world, you know, like the physical world as well, like, you know, people think that like the collectibles all go up in value or something. They don't. Most of them don't. And so, you know, if you're purchasing something, sometimes it's just a break even thing and you just want to own it. And if it doesn't go up in value, like if you're using Veve as a way to make money, if it doesn't go up in value and it goes down in value, well, that's a chance you take when you buy stuff. And you have the fee on top. When you sell, you have to factor that in as well. So, you know, it's just the way the game is to be played. So I don't really think they should lower fees and give people a you know, a break, you know, when they made a choice to purchase something that they didn't have to make. They didn't have to make that choice. You know, just to, you know, why should Veve eat that decision right now? People might say, well, because they didn't fulfill their promises yet. Well, there you go. That's a good argument for sure. I can understand that. So, but there are other ways I think to do that, you know, for sure. But I hear that's an interesting point, man. I like that. Sanji, Matt, that is such a terrible take. Oh, you guys talking about the previous comment up there. Roger, I don't care about cash out interoperability trading, but somehow we need more people buying. Collecting on Veve is expensive when you can't flip almost anything for profit. No benefits for holding. Yeah, well, that's a real like that's a specific take, you know, sounding like for somebody who's only in this to make money. And that's okay, right? But there are lots of other reasons that people are buying here at this particular time, specifically at this low market right here, right? You know, specifically when the prices are lower than they have been on things in the past, you know, at this particular time, you know, and the scarcity level too. So that's a very unique, specific take. And Roger, I'm just guessing that your motivation is to only purchase to, you know, flip and make money, which is totally fine. Collecting on Veve is expensive when you can't flip almost anything for profit. No benefits for holding. So I see a lot of other benefits for holding myself, you know, like because I enjoy the aspects of it. I like reading the comics, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I like flipping for money too. I want stuff to go up in value for sure. But there's lots of stuff in my vault that I didn't buy specifically so it'll go up. So that's a decision everybody has to make for sure. And like I said, that's the question right here. Why are people still here? If it's to flip and make money in the market, you got to be really smart with your decisions. You got to be really, really, you know, like you got to really be locked in now. You can't just buy everything and expect it to go up and then get mad when it doesn't. That's not the way it works. Sanji, if you invest tens of thousands of dollars, wouldn't you want full custody of that investment? Maybe, Sanji, but then don't spend tens of thousands of dollars in Veve. It's just a reality check. Now, that's going by now. Of course, people in the past put money in here with the promise of that. I get it. It was still speculation because it wasn't here. So you're still taking a chance, right? I like to try to buy when everything is like in front of me, right? At least I'm comfortable that way. And if interoperability was the main reason why someone put money in here and it wasn't here yet, you know, that's a chance they're taking. And, you know, I can understand them being upset. But, you know, you always take a chance with anything, right? Based upon a promise. And that's a whole topic, you know, to get into, right? We talked about that a bit. So the question is, if that's the case, is there another reason why someone would want to put tens of thousands of dollars in here? And if there isn't, then don't. You know what I mean? Like, everybody do what they want, but that's the reality check type questions people have to ask themselves. Bill, secondary sale fees are a way to fund artists as well as they usually get paid once their artwork. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I fully am supportive of secondary sales for all time on NFTs. 100%, like in terms of fees that the artists and the projects get, you know, by secondary sales. I'm 100%. I think that's one of the beautiful things about the NFT space in general is the actual that when a project like a Kid Called Beast or something like that gets made, you know, and anytime there's a sale after that happens for all time, then the original artist gets a little royalty from that. I think that's the beautiful thing about NFTs for sure. It supports the artist. It actually incentivizes like really great projects. It actually helps fund those projects to create, keep building and keep providing value and keep, it's actually beautiful. And also, I think it's just kind of a thing. Artists, like in particular, deserve to be paid for their work. And in so many situations and instances, the big corporations in regards to the music industries and all sorts of stuff have just taken all the money for themselves. And the artists are the ones who actually are the ones creating the work. Now, those big corporations provide the structure and the system for them to get in historically for artists to get their work out to the masses, but not anymore. You don't need those companies, right? Like for music, you know what I'm saying? A music artist can go and do it on their own, The big IP brands for Veve, they choose to go through Veve right now, right? It's an interesting, right? It's an interesting dynamic, Very interesting. Matthew, the complainers always cry about bots. If Veve had full custody and full interoperability, the thief bot users would immediately run off with the NFTs. It's something. There is a safety aspect that a lot of people feel about, there's a story, like you saw that guy got his Bored Ape stole recently, right? You guys saw that, right? We don't have to get into that whole story, but it's scary out there. Be careful what you wish for, right? So this is the question. Like, do people is Veve's target audience interested in having, taking care of their own stuff? Let's say that. In the digital space, the wild west of NFTs. You know what I'm saying? It's scary. For 99% of the people out there, it's scary, you guys. People like us, we know what we're doing, generally speaking. I got my wallet set up. I'm on the open sea. I'm in other projects. It took a while for me to get confident, and also I'm still not 100% confident in anything, that I attach my MetaMask wallet to. Okay. I don't have to worry about that with Veve. All I have to do is look at the app and go, okay, my stuff is in there. My stuff is safely inside Veve. No problem at all. I don't have to worry about it getting stolen or anything like that. So somebody like me, that actually is good for me. That's actually fine. I think a lot of people that Veve's targeting and Disney is targeting and Marvel's targeting, like those kind of people, like I think a lot of people like that. And you have to recognize that if you're a crypto person in here and your number one goal is interoperability and self-custody, you have to recognize that like 99% of the world population doesn't care about that. It's just the reality. You just have to recognize that, and Veve's set up for those kind of people to come in here and just, it's there and they can feel that kind of safety behind the fact that their stuff is on a platform that they don't have to learn MetaMask wallets or buy crypto or send it to a cold storage wallet. All that stuff that is important, that we know is important in the NFT space because of all the scams. A lot of people just want the safety and security. It's the same reason people put their money in a bank account and they trust the bank not to close their account, lock their funds. It's, you know what I'm saying? Right? Same reason you buy your music on your Apple Music and you buy an album and it's on your phone. You're trusting Apple not to shut down. Okay. So, and most people in the world, they like that kind of security and structure. They do. They just do. And for anybody to deny that in the Veve space, it's just not being realistic, right? Now, whether or not that's what Veve should be doing, and they got all their initial customers from crypto, right? This is the argument. I know all the arguments, you guys. I know them. Okay. I'm not oblivious to any of this stuff. All the original people came from crypto and they marketed that way. And that's how they got everybody in here to start the app. And fantastic. Those OG people benefited big time by buying TODs at, cheap and selling to the rest of us for the last couple of years. The whales who were smart enough to get here in the early days, buy all that stuff for super cheap before everybody else came in, and then benefited through the whole bull run of last year. Okay. So I don't feel sorry for anybody who got in here from crypto in the beginning. I wish I was one of you. I could have made a giant bag as well and had a huge account, and I could have been selling to everybody else like me for the last couple of years. Okay. And now some of those people are mad because they're not making the same profits or selling or whatever. And, you know, the app hasn't turned out the way they wanted to be at the beginning. I get it. But it's all just part of it. You know, then there's someone like me and other people who come in after, and we're buying from everybody like that. Right? You know, it's just, you got to put it in perspective for sure. Neon Aki, question is, how long will the side action last before it springs up? We are in a recession. Can be a year, can be 10. It's true. It's true. Sanji, people are still here, MyCollectables, because they're a bag holding. Yeah, for sure. Like, this is another reason. Invested, right? People are invested. And that's one reason why some people are still here who may not be happy with Veve, because they're heavily invested and they don't want to sell everything at a big time loss. But you know what? If you think the thing's going to go down, then, you know, that might be the best option for somebody. And also, if you are heavily invested in Veve, okay, if you're invested in Veve and you're not happy with how things are going on Facebook and Twitter and everything every day and like complaining about the project is not helping your investment. Just from a standard, just from a logical perspective, right? So asking Veve to do better, that's great. Do that 100% of the time and all of that. But there's some people who are like, you know, who were invested, sold everything, sticking around and telling everybody how bad Veve is still, you know? I don't listen to any of those people. It isn't a sale. It's a rental. What's a rental? When I sell something on Veve and I get my gems, that's a sale. And then I can turn those gems into cash. How's that renting? In renting, you pay to hold something and you never get that money back. So I don't see, there's no renting aspect. I'd like some renting in Veve though, to be able to rent to other people. Maybe Le Chatelaine, I can rent to you. Sanji, it's not rocket science. It's not, for sure. For sure. Sanji, it's a sale. Read the terms of service. We own the token of that NFT. Le Chatelaine, you buy a house, but they own the land. Yeah, but you can still turn that house into money, so you own the house. And you do own the land with restrictions from government. I hear, was that what you're saying about the country aspect of it and the land? Yeah, so that's okay. So here's the question. If that's okay for that, why isn't it okay here? You know, because crypto is a new venture. Crypto is a new landscape where you can literally physically own everything, right? Like technically you can actually own your stuff theoretically with no intervention from anyone else. That's the dream. That's the goal. That's Bitcoin. That's the whole thing, right? I get it. I get it. The general mass is, you know, not ready for that yet. So Veve's not quite ready for that yet. We'll see where it goes for sure. You can take out your Spider-Man today and sell it, set the price and then cash out. That's ownership to me. That's for me. That's the base level of it. Although Le Chatelaine said you can't burn it. So I love that. I loved that. That was a good comment. But yeah, that's the base minimum for me for sure. Bill, I don't care about full custody of these NFTs. I have crypto that is in my custody. I have other investments that are in my custody. If I can make money while someone else holds it, I'm okay with that. Yeah, there's different perspectives, different ways of looking at it for sure. All I know is that I can just sell my stuff and take the cash out. And for me, that's good enough for the moment. You guys are having a good conversation. Now I'm going to jump ahead a little bit right here. I appreciate it's a really good conversation you guys are having with each other there. Let me just jump ahead and get some other people's comments in here. Big A, as someone with extensive electrical experience, I can guarantee it's impossible to stick your finger in a socket. I wouldn't want to try. Oh, it's just a funny joke. Great conversation, guys. I love it down here. If everyone wants to read the good conversation you guys are having, I love it. Fro, Veve is the only store with all the major IPs and familiar brands on their shelves. Where else would new users want to shop? Veve is the next evolution of collecting. Hashtag truth. Yeah, I think so. That's one reason why I'm still here. I'll tell you guys when I end the video soon why I'm still here. Okay. Veve Collectibles do not need to be on OpenSea shelves with all the other discount items. All the other brands will want to come to Veve. That's one reason that they're talking about. You can bring your stuff to the Veve verse, you know, for sure. Let's just scroll down right here. Vincent, I'm a true collector. Am I doing it right? I'm not sure. I hope so. JOC, I traded all my other crypto for OMI last year because I believe in them so much, but now just praying. Binance AMA is a good sign, I guess. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. We're all in the same boat for sure. Le Chatelain, if Veve doesn't get their house/promises aligned, the SEC from the US will shut down the fiat on-ramp and then it'll be too late. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, you know. Doctor Strange, it's only a matter of time before the presses stop. My friend works at Marvel on the comic side. Many artists aren't paid well, and Marvel and DC are barely profitable on the book side. It's been like that for years, guys. I mean, believe me, I love comics. I love printed comics. I love holding them. I grew up in print. Like I said, worked in a magazine company for like 5-6 years. You know, actually 2 different magazines, actually. 2 different magazine companies at 2 different times. One was all about real estate. One of them was a lifestyle magazine, you know? And so the print aspect is a tough business, you guys. It's a tough racket. Digital is so much easier. Believe me. Jake, did you ever buy off-app gems? Yeah, I bought off-app gems 3 times. Yeah, 3 times I did. I wish I bought more back in the day. I really did. I wish I bought a ton more, but I didn't. Everybody was doing it. I was kind of like not really doing it. And honestly, I didn't have a ton of money to do it anyway. I wouldn't have put 10,000 in anyway. But I did it a couple times. I tested it out with a couple trusted people that I know in the community, and it worked out just fine. And but no, not very often. But a lot of people did. A lot of people had huge purchases offline for sure. And, you know, just got really loaded up in the app right here. Big A, my biggest criticism with Veve is communication. They shouldn't wait until the community is upset over something for a week before addressing it. They have a full-time communication person now, so no excuses. Yeah, they actually do now. They do now. That is true. And communication, they've already said this too. Their communication does need to get better. And you know what the funny thing is about that, Big A? Because I agree with you for sure. Sometimes they don't know something's going to upset the community. And then when it gets upset, they do have to go and deal with it. It's true, right? Sometimes things blow up. I mean, and they didn't probably think it was going to. And then they have to go put out the fire. But yeah, they do have a communications person in now. That's, you know, Ryan is like the community manager. And, you know, of course, they have Mitch in there doing the stuff with the actual items. And then they have, you know, Alex doing all the marketing and all that kind of stuff and more stuff like that. So, yeah, they have their team is rounding into form. So I suspect that these issues, as time goes on, are going to be less and less, you know, less and less occurring, you know, as time goes on, if the people they hire do their jobs, right? And I think they will. So, you know, the question is why haven't Veve dealt with the issues? I believe they're dealing with the issues for sure. You know, Bob Sales, my way is if you say things as you see it, you can't be wrong or go wrong. Mr. Beast model, you can't get caught in a lie if you say what you see. Yeah, you're just saying what people think. And I love, that's why I put this out. I want to know everybody's opinions about stuff. Fro, the stark reality is Veve is a safety deposit box. Your collectibles are safe in a closed environment. Major brands like Coca-Cola, Disney, etc., will not allow their brands to go to zero, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, and they do. It's not a stretch to realize that these big companies want, you know, their stuff controlled. Now, they did talk about this other the smaller IPs like the artists having interoperability on Veve, right? With some of the artists' work and stuff like that. So hopefully that happens, you know, because they've talked about that a lot in the past, you know, like especially over on IMX, you know, being able to, I got my IMX account, being able to sell artists' work over there and stuff. So, you know, they haven't released anything yet on that kind of stuff. So I'd like to see that happen too. But will that satisfy everybody? Because people keep talking about wanting to put their secret rare Miles Morales in cold storage. You know, not a lot of people are talking about putting like, you know, like a Ron English something in cold storage, right? It's really interesting. Is what will that satisfy people if it's just the independent artists, right? Matthew, as Veve has said, the smaller IP artists will most likely be the first to try it. Yeah, there you go. the bird in the coal mine, but scammers won't be able to help themselves. Big brands will be reluctant. It's true. They want to keep control of their stuff, the big brands for sure, right? So, Bill, you don't really own your house either. If you don't pay your taxes, they take it. It's so hard to compare this stuff to real world items, but it's true. I just basically, like I said, you can see if people want to talk about if they actually own the NFTs on Veve, you just got to get down to the basic thing of you can sell it and you can turn it into cash and you can cash out, and cash out's back in the United States for everybody in Veve. So that's just the basic thing for me right there. You can't move it around. You got to do it here for now. You know, and that's just part of it right now. You got to be able to, still have to do it here, but you own it. You know, you don't own it the way people want to own it. Some people want to own it, but I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I'm okay at the moment right now. Eric, centralized app in a decentralized world, still here to flip grails and profits. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Centralized app in a decentralized world. Yep, that's where Veve's kind of like in that middle ground right there. It's true. They're still centralized, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, and you're still here to flip grails and profits. That's okay. That's a great reason to be here. Get some grails, land some big drops, make some profits, cash your money out. You know, that's okay for now. I like that. For all those who argue your NFTs are safe with Veve. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is your first comment. A Veve wall garden is not a hack proof. If Veve gets hacked, we're all done. But there's no insurance like banks or stocks have. For all those who argue NFTs are safe with Veve. See, you know, I personally don't think that our NFTs are like locked in super safe with Veve. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, you know, but I'm comfortable in this environment the way it is at the moment. I'm fine with it at the moment. I don't feel worried about that, you know. Now, if I owned six secret rare AF-15s, you know, I might be a little bit more worried, especially if I spent all my hard-earned life savings on it. But no, I hear what you're saying, man. Fro, Tesla truck was announced 4 years ago. Like Veve, mass rollout will not be launched until the product is ready. Why would Veve want mass new users when everything has to be implemented? I think a lot of things are coming, and they always have been coming, and some people don't want to hear that anymore. But it's true. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing to do. Just sit back and wait. You know, Silicon said that in the video. You know, he said that, not in the video, sorry, in his comments. Silicon was like, you know, you could maybe the solution for some people is just to like, you know, put the Veve app aside for a bit and then like not worry about it and like, you know, don't do anything and see what happens. But, you know, people are invested in here. They still believe in the IP. They still want things to happen for sure, right? So nicely done. Uncle Jay, I just cashed out some funds to reallocate for other Web3 projects I'm currently bullish on. I'm still bullish on Veve's IP, so I'm still here for their potential. Exactly. That's fantastic, Uncle Jay. You know, you just remove the emotion from it and you can take some cash out of here and you just do it like how a customer would do it, you know? You know, you don't have to buy if you don't want to. You can take some cash out and move it into other things you want to give a go at. You can keep your good stuff here. It's all up to you. The good question to ask yourself is why you're still here. And if you define that, you should be just fine for sure. I'm going to go right here. There's somebody right here. Rewind 2001's a new member of the channel. Thanks so much for joining. You got to DM me on Instagram or Twitter if you're still here. I hope you're still here because this is I saw you joined about 20 minutes ago. And DM me. I'll get you your drop head NFT or free one and get you into the members only Discord where we're doing those golden ticket giveaways, you know, for Waza versus HRO giveaways, the packs that are being given out. So I'm going to be starting those very soon on my Discord channel for all my members of my channel because Waza sent them over. Watch my last live stream and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about for sure. But thanks for joining, and always remember to just DM me. I'll get you your stuff and the link to the Discord, right? So Axe Colt, how you doing? I'm still here because I pumped a lot of money into it, and if I cash out, it will be a loss. Yeah, fair enough. That's the invested part. Invested, right? You know, so with that, let me just ask you, Axe Colt, if you're still here, okay? I know this is like 20 minutes ago. If your stuff went up in value and it was over what you paid and everything was in profit, would you cash out and then leave? I just wanted to ask that question of you. Like, you pumped a lot of money in. So if your stuff, let's say your stuff goes up, we have a run, like a pump, a market, a bull run. Your stuff goes up in value. Would you then like sell it for the profits that, you're looking for? And then would you stay with the app or would you go? Good question, right? There we go. Mr. Not Like Them. Veve just banned my account full of collectibles for something I said in the Veve chat. So yeah, you don't know nothing on Veve, not your keys, not your wallet. Veve has your emails and your passwords. So they just banned your account because you said something in a Veve chat, Mr. Not Like Them? You really think they did that? They literally banned your account because you said something? I don't know, man. I don't think that they ban people for stuff like that. That's something else. That would be insane. Hopefully get your account back, but I doubt that's the reason. Random, love Veve. Comparing them to Fortnite skins that aren't NFTs doesn't work, though. That's why NFTs are supposed to be the new tech that gives us digital ownership. Yeah, Random. So it's not comparing them. It's just saying that the general masses are okay with centralized platforms where they put money in to buy stuff they don't actually own. That's what I'm telling you, right? So Veve is different. It's better because you can sell and take your money out and cash out. You can buy anything you want here, and then you can sell it in a market for losses or gains. That's why, but millions and millions and millions of people play Fortnite and are okay with that platform. And it's like that in gaming. That's what I'm saying. It's not comparing the two. So understand what I'm saying when I'm actually laying this out. It's people like Fortnite. They will buy skins with no hope of getting their money back just to play with them. Millions of people, millions. And NFT gaming is something that's coming, and people will actually get to own those and sell them. And guess what? Veve, you can do that here. And it's a centralized platform, Fortnite. And people are pumping money into that all day long because they can use those skins and play in the game. So if you have a Veveverse, right, coming up where you can take all of our stuff and play with them in there, but you can also sell them too. It's better. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Do people understand the comparison right there? Am I, is that hard for people to understand? Ryan, by the way, how many people are still here stuck with 30K investments worth 3K, hoping prices go back up? Probably a lot of people. That's probably why a lot of people are here. Now, if you're one of those people, okay, like say if I was I'm not one of those people. Most of my vault value is not actually like in the negative. But if I was one of those people, I certainly would be doing my best to make sure Veve succeeds. Okay. Just from a selfish, strategic, wanting to get as much money out of this back as I possibly could, I would be doing everything in my power to make sure that Veve is doing well. Okay, I wouldn't be standing out there with a picket sign out in front of the Veve store telling everybody not to come in. I would be saying, even if it was disingenuous, I mean, there's people in this app who have tons of money in here who are bashing the app daily and hurting their own investment. It's quite funny, right? It's quite interesting that people take those kind of things, I don't have that issue. I'm not down in my account. I've only really focused on the grails. I mean, I'm not super up or anything like that. I'll do another video again where I show my vault value. I used to do them every single month, but not to, it was interesting to do them every month. It was fun. I always watch my vault value for sure. I'll do another one, show you guys where I'm at. I always show what's in my collection for sure. Right. But it's interesting. Yeah. People are hoping prices go back up. It's true. It's true. So what are they doing to help the prices go back up? What are people doing to help their own personal situation and everybody else's? I mean, we're all in control of what this is the funny part about that too, Ryan, is that we are in 100% control of the market on Veve. We as users are the ones who are selling these things in the aftermarket for profit or loss, and we set the price. You and me and everybody in here determines the price of how much Darth Vader's ultra rare is worth. Nobody else is out there doing it. It's us. Okay. Now, initially, right after a drop, we have some bot accounts who determine the price there, and we can just slowly gobble those up. And then it's after that, it's up to us to determine the price. So we are in control of the market. And I love how people, they don't quite take ownership of the fact that we are the ones who are selling these things in the aftermarket for whatever we're selling them for. So when people had 30K investments put in and now they're worth 3K, that's the community selling that stuff at a loss. It's really interesting. If everybody in here said, you know what? Every Vader holder said, I'm not selling Ultra Vader for less than 2,000, and the floor got delisted and it was 2,000 gems, he'd be worth 2,000 gems. Now, how many people would buy him? A few, because when the price goes up on things, some people just jump in because the price goes up, you know, for FOMO. But you could set that price on anything, right? It's really, we are in full control of the market. Us. It's really interesting, right? So, Smarty Pants, I put at least 150,000 into Veve so far. Holy smokes. Probably more. All I can do is wait and pray like everyone else. You can do more than that, Smarty Pants. You're doing it every day, spreading your positive attitude, enjoying your collecting, and sharing the love here. And that actually helps. And if more people in this app would do that, you know, our stuff would be worth more. It's true. But you've done that's unbelievable, man. And much respect to you for sure. I know you got some great stuff there, Smarty Pants, in your collection. It's crazy, you know, but I think if you hold on, just me personally, the way I am, I got the same. I don't have that much invested in like that because I just literally don't have that much money to put in. But, you know, my stuff, you know, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing my best to like look at the benefits here and see what's going on and stick with the program for sure. Axe Cult wants to fight David you in the octagon. You don't want that. He would take you down. He would take you down. Ryan, I'm one of those. I'm not happy with a lot of things Veve does, but not selling, hoping things turn. Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. And I hear you, man. And it's tough to be in that situation. But, you know, it's good to recognize, you know, at some point how much you're willing to take, right? For sure. Taco Breaks, how you doing? Good to see you. Like the channel. Yeah, if you guys are having fun, like the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Axe Called, same here, but the next bull run I'm cashing out. Yeah, that's right. So you can wait and, you know, it's up to us to help get that bull run going, though. No one else is going to do it but the community ourselves, right? So for sure. But yeah, man, if you're doing that, I know a lot of people might be doing that too. Nothing wrong with that. David, you better watch his back. He owes me big time. You're cashing out and buying a Bored Ape. That'd be nice to own a Bored Ape for sure, man. Crypto King, I just don't understand how NFT profits are taxable. The government hasn't created laws for crypto yet. Well, it's, you know, it's, I don't want to get into how it works in Canada for me, but if I make income, the income is taxable, and I have to record the income, you know, on my, like if in regards to my business and everything too, I have to record income, and then the income gets taxed. The specific, you know, how, when you sell crypto for cash, and how the Canadian government actually looks at that sale is a different is a little bit different. But I record it down as all just income in, you know, profit loss, and then I pay tax on that income. But that's just me as a business person for sure. Dr. Strange, I mentioned lowering fees because it's possible, and other platforms like Top Shot, who's not doing well, found a way and encouraged moves in the market, which is better than no liquidity at all. Yeah, I hear you, man. Which is close to where we're at. I like the notion. You know, it's a good point. Lowering fees to help out. You know, they're lowering edition sizes on their drops as a result of the market. So they do react to the market conditions. So lowering fees, that would be up to the IPs though, for sure. Unless Veve waived their own personal fee, which would be another interesting thing, right? You know, so it's a good topic right there for sure. Axe Cult, Veve isn't trying anymore. The quality of the last couple of drops have been embarrassing. Well, I actually think that the, you know, I didn't go for Tarzan. I think the Disney stuff is amazing. I think Hulk looks great. I think the Back to the Future train looks incredible. I'm not going to go for that drop because it doesn't interest me, but I do think that they look good. So I don't fully agree with that, man. But I mean, you know, the AAA gaming comparisons for some of these, you know, for some of these, like if we had Hulk looking like he came out of like a AAA game, I mean, that's what everybody wants, like crazy stuff for sure, right? So I do hear you, But I'm actually not, I'm not dissatisfied with the quality of the Veve NFTs. I think they look pretty good. I think some of them look amazing, like RoboCop and others look incredible, compared to others. So, part of that is, the IP and like, the artist's work and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see, Axcall, people are still here because they pumped way too much in the app and have no choice but to hold. Well, it's, I hear what you're saying. That's a personal choice on their part. You can always take a loss, move it into something else, and then make a gain, right? There's always ways to angle things, right? Even in Veve themselves, right? Sometimes I've taken losses on things I've owned in Veve and gone into other items, and the other items have gone up, and then I've sold and I've made all that back. So there's ways to play, right? Taco Breaks. It's the small price you have to pay to live in America. Go fight for our country. They will pay you to do that. Well, I'm Canadian, but fight the fight, you guys. You Americans, you guys fight your fights down there. I'm up in Canada up here, though. Happy Saturday, MC. 3 minutes for Chico and Rocco. That was about a half an hour ago, so I missed it, but I'll go check out later. I'm gonna end the stream pretty quick here. Let's just see if there's any bigger comments right here. I love everybody's comments, by the way. I wish I could get to everybody's. Tropical Bird. Still here because I believe in the future of secret rare comics and digital collectibles that are scarce and popular. I also love the community and know that my secret rare Miles Morales and AF-15 secret rare will be fine. I think you're doing all right, Tropical Bird. What an amazing collection you have. An enviable collection for sure. Roger, I'm 100% here to collect what I love, but even a collector wants to flip. Yeah, 100%. A lot of people think collectors don't like to sell. Collectors buy and sell. That's part of collecting. But even a collector wants to flip something once in a while, not always 10K loss. Maybe some years we'll get more people. Yeah, I think so too, man. I 100% agree with that comment. It's a great comment right there. We'll be all right. Veve will survive them all. Matt Smith, I was just stacking comics on DC. What are your thoughts on Wiz 2? It seems undervalued at 17 a com with only 5K editions. It was great on Veve. I think Wiz in number 38 would do great. Yeah, Wiz Comics is a major comic, a big one. I made a video all about it. You can check out my thoughts on it. I think it should be worth more. I have a couple of commons on that one as well, for sure. So I'm just holding them. They're so scarce. And, I think it's, I had it as like number 2 on the app behind Superman 1 in regards to value. But, Detective Comics 38 is actually number 2. And that one is kind of like, it's in the top 5 or so right there. So we'll see how it goes over time, but I think it's an amazing comic, super scarce in the real world and scarce on DC, and it's a fantastic key one. So I have a couple of comments on that one too, for sure. Letitia, we will see in 5 to 10 years with our DTAR, Star Wars R2-D2 and all that Invader. MC, I will be Star Wars with this because we won't sell any of those anytime soon. Yeah, we'll be stars with those. I got those 2 on the drop. I'm keeping them. Rewind. We are in the beginning of stages of something big. The space is going to grow. Veve seems to be a good place to be, but you have to be involved in other projects too, like DC Palm. Yeah, it's good to go see what's going on. And there's stuff happening, behind the scenes on other projects and other things that are really incredible too. So just look for those opportunities, like I always say. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the chat right there. I just want to say right here, guys, hold on one second. Let's go down. Taco Breaks is a member. Thanks for joining the channel. Make sure you DM me. I'll get you your Drophead NFT, Instagram or Twitter. If you can't DM me on Twitter, just make a comment and at me, and then we can follow each other back, and I'll get you that NFT, and I'll get you into the Discord. So thanks so much, Taco, for joining the channel as a member for sure. That's awesome. So thanks so much. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you guys right here for coming to the live stream today. Let me just stop that screen right there. Hold on. So it's a good question, you guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I know I did for sure. We'll keep talking about this as time goes on. It's the why are you still here? Ask yourself the whole point of that. And I'm just going to break through this just before I go. The whole point of this question is to ask yourself that question. Why are you still here? And if you do understand that, if you could actually answer that in a way, then you know what your focus and your goal is. And it'll change over time, but it's important to make sure that you ask yourself this, because then you can really decide and make good decisions, and this is something you got to do every now and again for sure. Just make sure you focus on, the reasons you came here, the reasons you're still here. And if you can't find reasons why you want to still be here, it's okay. You do have the ability to cash out. Okay. I don't want anybody to leave, but people are allowed to, and you can always come back. It's a free world. You can do whatever you want for sure. And like I said, the issue of interoperability for me always goes down to the main base level of it is if you can sell it for cash, then, you know, you own it, and you have to do it here for now. We don't have that full interoperability. I totally get it. But if you can actually sell it, then for me, I'm comfortable enough with that in this time period where I can actually take my money and I can actually sell something. If I own it, I can sell it. That's the way I look at it. That goes back to my collectible business, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll get some more answers about interoperability as time goes on, for sure. Because if people want that, then that's what they're going to have to do. But there's a lot of factors for sure. But in the meantime, you still own it because you can still sell it. That's how I see it, for sure. And people are still here. And a lot of people gave good reasons in the chat. But I've been listening to the community for the last couple of weeks before I put this video together, for sure. Big IP, Veveverse, the potential of this thing. The people are already invested, so they feel like they have to stay. The community is a big aspect of keeping people here, whether they're fudding or whether they're having fun or not. You know, it's all part of it right there. These are reasons why people are still here. And I think everybody, generally speaking, who is in Veve wants Veve to succeed. You know, I think we all want that. So, you know, we're all a part of that. You are a big part of Veve succeeding or not. What you say every day on Twitter, what you do, how you conduct yourself, how you treat others in the community or not, what you do with your collectibles, how you talk about this stuff to your friends and family who are not in the space, how you share the stuff, all factors into whether or not Veve does well or not. You are a big part of it. The community is like the community is Veve, right? So you have decisions to make about how you want to present the stuff to the world. And remember, everything you say online, everything you say on Twitter is recorded. It's documented. It's all there. So people can refer back to it at any time, right? And Veve the same way. We hold them accountable. People are going to hold you accountable too for what you say about this project or not. And if you want this project to succeed, you're a big part of it. You know, if you don't want it to succeed, you're a big part of that too. It's all, we're the ones who are running the show here. Veve's given us the stuff. We're deciding if we want to buy or sell or not. Without us, there is no Veve, right? So think about that and just remember that you actually have the ability to actually push this project forward more than you think you do. And if people are grouping together, you know, you can affect what's going on. If you talk about stuff being down in value, it's not some other entity out there. It's just us selling or buying on the market. We're the ones who are deciding what the price is on stuff in the market. You and me, we decide what the stuff is worth after Veve, you know, sells it to us if we buy it. They set the original store price. After that, whatever price it is in the market has nothing to do with Veve. That's us determining whether it's higher than retail or below retail or whatever, right? So just remember that for sure. And just remember this, okay? You can cash out. You can take your money. It's all good. Always remember that for sure, right? It's there. That's actual, to me, true ownership. You know, in the NFT space, we need the other levels as well to make it like the NFT style of ownership, which is interoperability. But in fact, if you can sell it, you own it. This stuff is upcoming you guys. MCP, Veveverse, OUP, interoperability will be here in capacities. We don't exactly know how or what, but it will be here. We'll be able to bring stuff into the Veveverse, that's for sure. Big IP. So the big question before I leave is, can you wait? I know you've been waiting, but how much longer can you wait? Ask yourself that, and ask yourself why you're still here. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you in the next live stream. Take care.